It's in the game.
EA Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Hey everybody, it's the coach. You're tuned in to Sunday Night Football on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a great one on tap between the Tennessee Titans and the Seattle Seahawks. With that, let's get up to Seattle. Standing by at CenturyLink Field, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. We are in the Pacific Northwest as we get set for football at CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. This crowd, as we've come to expect in recent years, as loud as any in the NFL, and they get even louder when their Seahawks are introduced. We're ready for football as the Seahawks get set to do battle with Marcus Mariota and the Tennessee Titans. Happy to be on hand. I'm Brandon Gaudin with Charles Davis. And before we kick, partner, your keys to the game, please.
Well, my keys are on the defensive side of the ball for both teams. And the big one, making sure you avoid giving up the big play. These safeties are going to get tested all game long. Their job, keep the ball in front of them, tackle people, make them run extra plays in order to try and score.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. Orchestrating the offense will be their versatile quarterback, the Hawaii native, Oregon Duck product. Of course, that's Marcus Mariota.
And do not be fooled by his demeanor. I know he's quiet, he's serene, he's an avid surfer, he's from Hawaii. But this guy wants to dominate you out on the football field, and often does.
A first down throw for Mariota. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
I think the last two plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those two that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed as that's going to move the chains.
2nd and 1 and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
Mariota now. To the right side, complete to Taylor. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. The completion good for 3 and it's 2nd down. Offensive starters, here they are. And Delanie Walker, Charles, it's a guy that you and I said we wanted to discuss a bit.
Yeah, and we should because, remember, he came out of college as a wide receiver, so he's one of the early guys to move from a wide receiver position to tight end and still run routes as if he were a wide receiver. An excellent target.
On 2nd down, here's Henry. And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5. And this defensive line will be looking to control the point of attack.
And that's what they've done throughout this season. This is a terrific unit. They play together very, very well, and they don't permit big plays to happen.
Keep it rolling, keep it rolling. Where are they, team?
Mariota on 3rd and 2. And he's got a man, Corey Davis. And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. It's the first time that they've looked his way tonight, and he comes up with a first down on the play.
That throw's not going to get them a whole lot, but that really didn't matter, did it? They got what they needed on that throw. Picked up the first down, and I'm going cliche here. Game of inches, partner.
Absolutely. And you talked to me a lot about opening drives, how key those are to set the tone. You kept the drive alive. 3rd down conversion here is big.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march up another 15 against your squad.
Smith catches left side. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
The first red zone opportunity for the Titans. 1st and 10 at the 19. Mariota to throw it. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Byron Maxwell. And to the 12. That's where it stops. The return is halted at the 12-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 12-yard line. On the ground, this is Rashad Penny. And he takes us across the 15 to the 17. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
On second down, here's Wilson. Flushed out right. And the grab made by Doug Baldwin. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
They go play action here on first down. Being chased out left. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
So operating from Tennessee territory now. Here's 1st and 10 right at the 40. This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson, and he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the
First down.
conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Check 50, check 50. Right, move 15. Right.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Rashaan Evans out of Alabama had the tackle defensively.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
On second down, Wilson. And that one is incomplete. And it also concludes quarter number 1. So an even first quarter on the scoreboard, but the threat of points on the horizon. 0-0 our score. We'll be back to Seattle right after this. Alongside my broadcast partner, Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin hits the Seahawks with a football to begin quarter number 2. They're on the march, but facing a third down here.
Hey, over here, over here. Right, 90.
There's Wilson to throw. Flush to his right. And this is going to be caught. No, they say it's incomplete. Fourth down now as the Titans defense holds up in coverage.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So still no touchdowns in the first half, but we do have some action on the scoreboard with the field goal. So
maybe now the mentality changes in this game because anytime you can get to the red zone and if you don't come away with 6 points, you feel like it's a disappointment. In a game like this one, being able to kick field goals means you're right there, and then you're just looking for that big break to take you over the top.
Now a carry for the shifty Dion Lewis. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Movement there on the offensive line, a little quick, and a 5-yard penalty.
False start, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards. Now after the false start, here's 2nd and 7. Working out of the gun, Mariota toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to Taywan Taylor, and now it's third down.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. Throwing is Mariota, and he hits his man, Matthews. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. A Tennessee first down. That one Mariota to Matthews.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Eluding the pressure right, and he'll slide down to avoid the contact. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a third down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
They'll try to run for the first with Henry. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. An 11-yard pickup for the Titans and a first down.
We all love to have a home run hitter in the backfield. Guy can take it the distance. But in short yardage, trying to pick up first downs, that big guy, always a nice luxury to have, isn't he?
A solid run by Derrick Henry, and here's another 1st and 10. Mariota now to throw on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. Play fake to Henry. Now Mariota. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. That one goes for 24 yards.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Mariota gives to Henry. And he's going to push his way down to about the 12. 7 yards on the carry. Make it 3rd and 4 coming up. The Titans on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and 4. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Back to CenturyLink Field after this. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Jonathan Coachman. Coach will have highlights and analysis of this first half, one that's featured no touchdowns as of yet on either side.
So his job's a little bit easier for this halftime.
Need to give the coach some highlights here.
Yes, we do.
So it's 1st and goal and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
And he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did, wanting that quick takeoff as the ball was snapped, but I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
Trying to punch it in with Henry. And he will take this one in for a Titans touchdown. Derrick Henry taking it in. And the Titans are able to strike for 6. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game.
Now here's Suckup out to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll be out of bounds across the 25. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
But you met fan bases that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Now Wilson on second down. Escaping the pressure right. And the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. Wilson to Lockett there for the Seahawk first down. First down now, but that clock rolling.
Bang out, bam, bam. Let's go, 14.
They'll throw on first down with Wilson. Forced out to his left. Now he'll let it go on the run. Deep left side. And incomplete. Crisis averted. Almost picked. Instead, second down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, and have them back on their heels.
And once again, not much running room, if any at all. Back-to-back stops make it 3rd and 10. On third down, Wilson. And that is incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
They'll indeed go for it with Wilson. Flushed out right. He gets it to Brown, complete. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Jerron Brown, 59 yards. And the Seahawks are able to strike for 6.
And while that touchdown does not give them an insurmountable lead, it's still a lead, and that always feels good to a team.
They'd love to take that into the lockers, but a little time left on that clock, so some work to do.
I like that. I like how you're guarding against a letdown there.
Marty looking forward.
Coaching them up from right up here in the booth.
Janikowski adds the extra point, and the lead is now 10-7. A drive that time of 6 plays, and the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. Out to kick is Janikowski. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And the Titans getting set to go. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned they're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. 10th carry now for Derrick Henry. And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. So we are at halftime here in downtown Seattle with the Seahawks out in front. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, right, Brandon. Thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to this slimmed-down version of the EA Sports halftime report. This one's been as good as advertised. Just a field goal separating these two teams as they've already made their way back out of the locker room. So to bring you the story of the second half, let's get you right back out to Brandon Gaudin.
Tyler Lockett now with a return. And how about that return as he's all the way inside the 20-yard line.
And that's the type of return that puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the defense now. They've got to go out on the field almost like it's a sudden change, almost like it's a turnover. They've got to go out there and try and stop them. But, boy, what a tough spot they're in.
And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies, try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
See if they do just that. And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Again, it's Penny. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson, flush to his right. And there's Baldwin, touchdown, Seattle. Doug Baldwin, a 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead.
He was able to move around and found some vision to throw the football. And how about how he ended it? Boy, he had some zip on that throw.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to have an arm like that. Results in the touchdown here. Great play offensively. Janikowski now for the point after. Janikowski good with the extra point, and his guys will take a 10-point lead. The drive there only spanning 3 plays, and it all culminates with a Seattle score. Out to kick is Janikowski. The Titans offense gears up for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
So 5 yards there as one of the big guys up front moved.
And in a 4-3 front, you got the 2 defensive tackles right near the football. I know there's a lot of movement around there, but they're always taught to have one eye on the football. Apparently, that didn't happen.
Mariota. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Mariota from the gun on 3rd down. And now another one thrown incomplete. Trying to get their tight end involved finally. That's the first time that they've looked his way. He's kind of been a forgotten man in this offensive scheme.
Yeah, didn't look his way at all in the first half, and I'll bet you the offense coordinator made a note at the half and said, let's get him involved because he could be a big-time playmaker for us.
Here's Brett Kern now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. Fair catch called for in May, but now we'll have to see about the penalty.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, defense.
So not just running into the punter, but roughing the punter.
And I'm struggling with this one. You know, you're watching their partner. Is it more the first rather than the latter? This is a tough one. Almost feels like he felt like he had to call it on that play.
Now Mariota, and nearly picked off there. Almost intercepted. Instead, 2nd down. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. 2nd down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets them to 3rd and 3 now. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. On 3rd down, Henry. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. They have to be pleased with the way that they've moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Eluding the pressure right. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And this one's going to go out of bounds, so no recovery. But on 4th down, a change of possession anyway.
And I have to admit, partner, that I've often thought that I don't like this rule. Where the offensive player fumbles the ball, it goes out of bounds, and they get to keep it.
That's just because you're a defensive guy. That's why you don't like it.
Yeah, you're right. It is a slanted view, isn't it?
But this is where, for the offensive team, the sideline is their friend. Usually it's not there for him.
Yeah, exactly right. I actually played for a guy in college. You know what he used to name the sideline? Sammy. Sammy sideline, and use him well.
12 yards there as they move the chains.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. They'll run it now out of the gun. And 3 yards there takes them to the 45.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Spot that, spot that. Right there, 54, right there, 54 right. That QB's trash, let's go.
Now they'll throw it with Wilson, escaping the pressure right. Try to drop one in, but it's incomplete. The intended target, Doug Baldwin, and it's third down.
Well, sometimes you just have to take things into your own hands, don't you? I mean, the offense is really struggling in this game. They're the ones keeping things going. They have to continue to play at that level.
They go play action now. Wilson flushed out right. Now on the run. He'll throw it. This is caught inside the 15. And he takes it all the way down to the 3. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. They'll try to run with Carson. And he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. A great effort there. A 3-yard touchdown run. And the Seahawks add on to their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the third quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Out to kick is Janikowski. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. And that's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
And Matthews over the middle with a grab. 30, 20. Touchdown, Titans. Rashard Matthews, 75 yards. And the Titans are able to cut into that deficit. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were competent enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
An opportunity to get a drive started here at the end of the third quarter. What you're trying to do is break the game down a little bit. Don't let your guys see too deep into the game, into the future, and say, oh, we got to get here. No, right here, right in front of them, melt the clock down, get to the fourth quarter, try and keep going.
And try to keep that lead.
Exactly. An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Seahawks with the possession. They also have the lead here as we get set for the 4th and final quarter.
Check 50, check 50.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson sliding out of the pocket. He hits Baldwin right side. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomped down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. So operating from Tennessee territory now. Here's 1st and 10 as they're down to the 29-yard line.
380.
Here's a give to Penny. And a pretty little juke move there on a nice gain. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. Starting to become a tough spot for this defense. You're down 4th quarter, looking a little fatigued maybe on that side of the ball.
Partner, we've seen this before, haven't we? Because every coach we've ever talked to says body language is important. And now you're seeing guys with their hands on their hips, they're bent over, hands on their knees. And the offensive guys are just saying, let's just keep running it out. We've got them now.
And he'll get them inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. How about this offensive line? They're really starting to establish themselves, take over this game.
And before the series began, I know exactly what was said in the defensive huddle. Guys, we got to get no less than a 3 and out. Let's get off the field. Instead, they can't find any traction towards doing that. Right now, they're just getting muscled all over the field and getting pushed down it.
It's a good gain of 11, sets them up 1st and goal. Starting to look like this drive, it may be the final nail in the coffin.
Well, this is why you work out so hard, right? This is why you spend all that time in the offseason. This is why you have those OTAs and mini camps. For these situations, these scenarios, to run someone into the ground and secure a victory.
Flush to his right. To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. He'll get only 2 there, and it's 2nd and goal. Great footwork there, Charles, to dot the I's, stay in bounds, get both feet in. He's probably thinking, though, man, I made a catch like that close to the end zone. I should have scored.
Yeah, there's always a regret when you're that close to the goal line. But let's go back to what you talked about before. Getting his feet down. Would you say dotting the I? I can cross the T as well. That was excellent footwork to get in bounds and make a great catch.
On 3rd and goal, Wilson. They'll roll. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Making a hat trick for Russell Wilson. 3 touchdown passes now. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. And he shows some mobility there, getting outside the tackles, moving to the right, making a nice play.
They had the whole field in front of him and was able to actually throw it about where he was looking, right? He said he moved to the right, had his vision there, and put a nice pass into the end zone for a touchdown.
Janikowski on for the extra point. Janikowski adds the extra point, and that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. So the drive goes 75 yards, 10 plays, and the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. Out to kick is Janikowski. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. The Titans offense now, they work their way back onto the field. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, let's see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Over the middle, that's caught by Taylor. And nothing but daylight ahead. The 20, 10, touchdown Titans. A big play there, 75 yards. And the Titans are able to close the gap just a bit. And nothing too crazy there. A quick slant, and then he just had a seam. He found a seam.
And when you hit it on the run like that, and I mean the pass right to the receiver who's already in motion and moving, sometimes he just takes it and runs away from everyone else.
And he ran it into the end zone. And the defense, they've got to adjust there quickly. That's tough on them.
That's really tough because everything was executed well. Ball was out of his hands quickly, into the hands of the receiver, and then he was gone.
And the Seahawks, looks like they've recovered. They have. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Here's Wilson to throw on second down. Wide open, it's Marshall, complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 15 yards there for number 15. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Time for a break. We're back to finish this one off after this. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. Now Wilson on first down. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
19. Gotta go. Got it. 12. Check 50.
Wilson wants to throw it, eluding the pressure right. And this is complete. It's Marshall. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. And the Titans going to signal for a timeout defensively. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it with Penny. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Now another timeout here called by the Titans, as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal.
We got three. Four down.
Wilson to throw. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. And Dixon, a beast in the red zone with his 2nd touchdown of the game. And the Seahawks add on to their lead.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside in 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
Janikowski good with the extra point, and that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Out to kick is Janikowski. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Titans now. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. Throw right side, caught by Davis. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts, and they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. To throw, Mariota going underneath for Lewis. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will. To throw is Mariota, and this is incomplete.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
Throwing again, Mariota on 2nd and 10. And that is incomplete here. Corey Davis, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
Well, he did almost everything right. Excellent coverage, breaks on the football, just unable to haul it in and take it the other way, so he dropped an interception. The key for him now, don't dwell on it, just move on to the next play.
And he's going to be taken down, back around the 35-yard line. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Desperation time, Mariota on 4th down. Walker with a grab, left side. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and it would appear that the Seahawks are going to win this football game. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
They'll start on the ground. It's Rashad Penny, and he'll be corralled right around the 34. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down. This defense, Charles, they have unraveled here in the 4th.
In a sense, it's like they're being pressed, like in a basketball game, and they just can't get the ball over half court. I mean, no matter what they do, they can't get off the field. They can't slow them down. They're just going up and down the field against them. Yeah, unraveling would be a perfect word for them.
A lot of scoring. There's no doubt about that in this one, Charles. Points, they were not at a premium. They were pretty easy to come by.
They were, but it was fun, wasn't it? Because both teams finding ways to click. And you know people who love this game, they also love baseball games that are 14-11 with 3 or 4 home runs mixed in.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. It's a win for the Seahawks here as we say so long from Seattle.
Sports. It's in the game.